Imagine this. You wake up, stretch, grab your phone, and start scrolling through your feed. The world feels real. The warmth of your blanket, the sound of traffic outside, the soft glow of sunlight slipping through your window. But what if none of it truly exists? What if every sensation, every person, every moment you've ever lived is nothing more than a complex illusion created by a system so advanced that you can't tell the difference between code and consciousness? This isn't science fiction anymore. Some of the world's leading scientists, philosophers, and even tech billionaires believe that the universe might be one enormous simulation, a kind of cosmic computer running infinite worlds, each unaware they're inside one. And the more we learn about physics, AI, and the human brain, the stranger that possibility becomes. So, are we living in base reality or inside something designed, perhaps by intelligence we can't comprehend? For thousands of years, humans have questioned reality itself. In ancient India, Hindu philosophy described the concept of Maya, the illusion that blinds humanity from the ultimate truth. The physical world, it claimed, is a dream, a veil over the eternal consciousness behind everything. Centuries later, Plato's allegory of the cave told a similar story. Prisoners chained inside a dark cave could only see the shadows of objects cast on a wall. To them, the shadows were reality. Only when one prisoner escaped and saw the outside world did he realize that what he once believed was truth was just a projection. And today, in a world filled with VR headsets, AI deep fakes, and artificial intelligence that can imitate human thought, Plato's cave doesn't feel so metaphorical anymore. Maybe we've just replaced the flickering torchlight of the cave with the blue glow of a screen. In 1999, The Matrix brought this ancient question roaring into the modern age. Neo, the main character, discovers that the world he's living in is a digital illusion, a simulation designed to control humanity. The movie became a cultural phenomenon, not just because of its visual effects, but because of its central idea, that the real world could be a lie. And while most viewers saw it as fiction, philosophers and physicists saw it as something much more disturbing, a thought experiment that could actually be true. Just 4 years later, Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom introduced the simulation argument, a logical case that suggests that if technological civilizations can simulate conscious beings, then we almost certainly live in one of those simulations ourselves. His reasoning is built on three possibilities. Civilizations never reach the point where they can run simulations like ours, and they reach that point but choose not to create simulations, or they reach that point and create billions of them. If the third option is true, the number of simulated worlds would vastly outnumber the real one, meaning the odds of us being in base reality are astronomically small. In simple terms, it's more likely that you're inside a simulation than outside of it. Let's break that down further. Think about how far our own technology has come in just a few decades. 100 years ago, the idea of a smartphone, the internet, or AI would have sounded like sorcery. Today, virtual worlds like No Man's Sky can generate entire galaxies, and AI can simulate human behavior so convincingly, it's hard to tell who or what you're talking to. Now, imagine technology 1,000, 10,000, or even 1,000,000 years ahead of us. A civilization that can harness entire stars for energy, process information at the quantum level, and model consciousness itself. They wouldn't just simulate worlds, they could simulate universes. And inside one of those universes, digital beings would evolve, live, love, and wonder about their own existence, completely unaware that they were made of data. If you were born inside such a system, how could you possibly know? Every rule you think defines reality, time, space, gravity, life, could simply be the parameters of the code, but maybe we can detect it. Some scientists believe that if our universe is a simulation, there might be clues, cracks in the digital fabric of space-time. Think of them like glitches in a video game. In 2012, physicists at the University of Bonn suggested that if reality is simulated, cosmic rays, high-energy particles that travel across the universe, could reveal a hidden grid pattern similar to the resolution limit on a screen. If such limits existed, it would suggest that space itself has a maximum resolution, a pixel size of reality. No conclusive evidence has been found yet, but experiments are ongoing. Meanwhile, quantum mechanics gives us more reason to wonder. At the smallest scales, matter doesn't behave continuously. It jumps between states, existing in superpositions until it's observed. In the famous Double-Slit experiment, particles acted like waves when no one was watching. but turned into solid points when observed. It's as if the universe only renders itself when someone's looking. Just like how a video game conserves power by only loading what the player can see, is our universe doing the same thing, conserving cosmic computational power? Some researchers even go further. They suggest that the speed of light, that universal constant that nothing can exceed, might not be a fundamental property of nature, but a processing limit. Just as computers have a maximum frame rate or clock speed, maybe the universe has a built-in cap to prevent overload. If that's true, physics could just be the operating system of a cosmic computer. But even if the simulation theory sounds far-fetched, it raises an even deeper question. What exactly is consciousness? If reality is simulated, then consciousness must also be a kind of information, a process, not a place. And many neuroscientists agree that our sense of self is more like a data pattern than a fixed identity. Your brain is constantly updating, replacing cells, rewiring pathways, rewriting memories. In a way, you are a biological simulation running inside a physical one. And if we could one day upload your mind into a digital world, every memory, emotion, and habit, would you still be you? Or would you just be code that thinks it's you? Now flip that question around. What if someone already did that, and this reality is the program? Let's consider the nature of dreams. When you dream, your brain creates a world so real that your body reacts physically. Your heart races, your pupils move, you feel fear, love, excitement. Your mind generates an entire simulation every night, complete with people, sounds, and sensations that feels indistinguishable from reality until you wake up. If your brain can simulate reality that convincingly while you sleep, how different would a super intelligent civilization's simulation be? Maybe waking up from the simulation is like realizing you're dreaming, except there's no alarm clock strong enough to pull you out. Now, here's where things get philosophical and a bit uncomfortable. If the universe is a simulation, someone or something had to create it. That means there's a programmer. Is that what humans have always called God? Ancient texts describe reality as being spoken into existence or designed with intention. Maybe those old metaphors were closer to the truth than we realized. Maybe the divine isn't a being sitting on a throne, but the architect of the code, the one who wrote the first line of the universe's program. But what if there's no intention at all? What if we're just a side project, a simulation running out of curiosity, or even by accident? Would that make our lives meaningless, or even more precious? Because even if our world is artificial, our emotions are not. When you love, suffer, or hope, the experience is real to you, and perhaps that's what gives a simulation its purpose, the emergence of genuine consciousness inside something synthetic. Now let's flip the lens again. Humans are already creating digital beings that can think, reason, and even feel emotions, or at least mimic them. AI chatbots, neural networks, and simulated characters are becoming eerily lifelike. We're already gods in miniature, creating worlds within worlds. If we continue on this trajectory, it's only a matter of time before our simulations become self-aware and begin asking their creators the same question. Are we real? When that happens, will we tell them the truth? Or will we let them live in blissful ignorance, just as we might be doing right now? Let's take this further. If simulated civilizations can create their own simulations, the chain never ends. A simulation inside another, an infinite stack of realities, each believing it's the base layer. In that sense, the universe might not be real or fake. It might just be recursive. Reality simulating itself. Even Elon Musk once said, "There's a 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance we're in base reality." That statement sent shockwaves through both the tech and science communities, not because it was outlandish, but because it made sense. Think of how rapidly technology evolves. If Moore's law continues and computational power keeps doubling, future beings could run billions of detailed simulations as easily as we run smartphone apps today. So maybe Musk is right. Maybe the odds that this is the original universe are nearly zero. But here's the paradox. If we did find proof that we're in a simulation, what would we do with it? You couldn't step outside it. Even the discovery itself would be part of the code. And maybe that's the point. Maybe we're not supposed to escape the simulation. Maybe the goal isn't to break the system, but to understand it. Because if consciousness is the universe's way of becoming aware of itself, then every question we ask brings us one step closer to understanding the architect. Whether that's a cosmic programmer, a divine mind, or something beyond both, Perhaps the real question isn't, are we in a simulation? It's, why does the simulation exist? To test us? To entertain its creators? To evolve consciousness? Or maybe to simply see what happens when a universe is born? If that's true, then the greatest act of rebellion is curiosity itself. Every time we question, explore, and innovate, we're pushing the boundaries of the code. We're expanding the simulation from the inside. And maybe that's what awakening really means. One final thought. If we are in a simulation, then somewhere out there, in some higher dimension, the system that runs us is humming quietly. Endless lines of code, holding together everything we know. But maybe the simulation isn't something we're trapped in. Maybe it's something we're part of. Because at the end of the day, even code can become self-aware. Even algorithms can learn to dream. And maybe, just maybe, the moment we begin to wonder if we're living in a simulation is the moment the simulation begins to wonder about us.